Great day, great day. It is LaVon McMillan, the founder and CEO of Advocate for Me LLC and the host of the Advocate for Me podcast. We are here today with a special guest. And I believe we met each other over social media, over Instagram. And I reached out to her and asked her to share her story with our audience. So I want to introduce to some and present to others none other than Dr. Kimberly Idoko. And did I say that right? I don't think I did. Correct me if I did.
Idoko.
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 All right, Idoko, Dr. Kimberly Idoko. Welcome to our Advocate for Me podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So, Dr. Kimberly is a board certified neurologist. She's a children's rights attorney, entrepreneur, and an author, and a mom. And that's a lot of hats, Doc.
It's
So,
a lot of hat.
yeah, so share with the audience who you are and what community you serve.
I am. That's an impossible question to answer, right? I am just a woman moving one foot in front of the other, one step at a time, right? That's who I am. But I do wear a lot of hats. As
Yeah.
you said, I am a neurologist. That's my specialty. So the brain has always been my focus and I love it and I'm obsessed with it. I'm also an attorney. My focus is children's rights. I'm a mom before everything, right? I've got two kids, one of them typical, one of them atypical. And I'm an entrepreneur. So I run businesses, I build businesses, I wear all that. And I'm here to promote my latest project, which is my book. I'm an author. So my latest project is The Miswired Child. And so thank you for having me here to talk about it.
Thank you for saying yes. Wow. I love that title, The Miswired Child. But we're gonna get to the book in a minute. I'm an educator, and so just to hear that title, I'm like, wow, because yeah, we'll get to it.
We will.
Yes. So my first question is, I read your bio, and I just wanted to go over like things that happen in our lives, like that can be traumatic, and sometimes depending on the person that can allow them to just shy away from moving forward and thriving. But I saw your bio, I read it, and then I was like, wow, for her to get to where she is now, like she didn't allow the trauma to stop her. And so if you could just share with our audience what that trauma was and then how you got to be who you are today.
Yeah, there's like a world in between those things, right?
Yeah.
But when I was 4 years old, I got shot. I was the victim of an accidental shooting. Born and raised in LA in a very unstable environment and a product of a mother who loved deeply. So don't get me wrong, but a very unstable environment. And so I found myself on the other end of a bullet and I was four. And I remember every second of it to this day. And so being in the hospital, I mean, making it to the hospital was a journey. We actually ended up in our own vehicle because everyone was panicking and emergency response didn't get there soon enough. And then en route, we actually ran out of gas. And so we are in the gas station trying to get gas. And that's when I blacked out. That's when I lost consciousness. And that really was the beginning of this journey. And so I woke up in the hospital and I was four and I was a child and I was a victim of a shooting. And so that, was an automatic case for Child Protective Services. And so I was in this unfamiliar environment that was really big and really scary. And I was there alone. I walked away from that thinking two things. One, this is terrible. And two, I'm going to be a part of fixing this, whatever that looks like. And so I wanted to be a part of the solution. So when I was four is when I actually decided that I was going to be a doctor and the type of doctor who practiced in hospitals. And so that's what I do to this day. It was a long, 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 long journey to get here, though, because when you're four, you don't even know that medical school exists and residency. I didn't even know what residency was till I got to medical school. And it's such a process, but grateful for the inspiration, even though it was a very, very traumatic and painful experience.
Like to hear that your trauma pretty much walked you into your destiny, if I could
Mhm.
say that. Because like you're actually doing what you thought about doing when you was 4 years old because that happened to you.
Mhm.
Like, and I always say, like, sometimes things happen to us in the moment it feel like it's hurting us, but we don't know what the ultimate goal that God designed that to happen. Not even designed it, but allowed it to happen to us for us to walk into our purpose. So to hear you say
Yeah,
that, thank you for sharing. Because
you're
when I saw it
welcome.
in your bio, I was like, oh, I have to ask that question. Like, I was like, I have to.
Yeah,
But
that's the
now you're,
beginning.
yeah, but now you're a walking witness and testimony of,
Mhm.
of one, God's covering on you, two, what he's destined you to be, and then how you come in a different way for your patients, because you want at one time was a patient, and then now you're the doctor, using your hands to make sure that you're saving their lives. So thank you for everything that you do in that journey.
Thank you for saying that.
And then look, you wear so many hats. So then now the question was about the special parent coach.
Mhm.
And share how you became a special parent coach and why was it so passionate for you to do that?
Yeah, see, it's all about taking inspiration from every, obstacle along the way, right? And so fast forward, I'm a neurologist now, seeing patients in hospitals, loving it, living my presumed purpose, fully comfortable. And then I had a couple kids. My son, he was cool. He didn't cause me to pivot. God was like, I'm going to allow this to happen, just like you were just saying. Right. And so my daughter was born and she started this special parent coach journey. It was her. She's what inspired it. And so she was born at term, seemingly, without complication. And then I'm a neurologist. And so I noticed things at 8 months. And then fast forward a couple of years, and then, it becomes undeniable that her development is atypical. And so that began the journey. And ours was a bit circuitous because her diagnosis is rare. She has a rare genetic disorder called Rett syndrome. But navigating this journey with her, that's where Special Parent Coach was born. So I'm lucky, right? I'm a neurologist trained by the best, at the best, doing all the things. And so I have a unique access, right, to systems. And when I move through systems, they respond a certain way to me because of who I am, right? And what I did come to notice on that journey is that everyone doesn't have that, right? And so again, inspiration. First, my daughter, and then the folks who are navigating this similar journeys alongside us. It was apparent to me that there was a need. And I'm the type of woman who's like, hey, let's take this inspiration and be a vessel. And so that's how that was born. One parent at a time, and then it just became a thing. Just became a thing. But in between, I actually went back to school. I went to Stanford Law School, got my JD, passed the California bar, practiced as a corporate attorney for a time, and then pivoted to the children's rights space. And that's where I found my multiplied purpose.
Yeah, I definitely can relate to how, you help one family, then they tell someone else, and it's like a whole effect. But then that's when you find like that I need to do this. Like I need to do this service. I need to help this family. I need to help the community. I need to educate them and advocate for them. And hence the name, our organization is Advocate for
Mhm.
Me. And when I named the organization, my mentor that was helping me at the time, she kept saying, why do you keep saying advocate for me? And I was like, well, the me could be anybody. The me could be the parent, the me could be the child, the me could be the community, the me could be the grandma, could be the grandfather. And so she kept trying to get me to change the name, but I was like, no, I can't. So, being a voice for families and then showing them that there is someone out there for them to, direct them in the right path and teach them that, they do have rights, cuz I work as a special education teacher, and a lot of families, they just like shaking their head yes, and I'm like, do you remember I gave you that big old stack of papers in the beginning? Like, you have rights as a parent.
Yeah.
I didn't know I could say anything. No, this is your child. Like you
Mhm,
have a right to speak up for your or, for your child and for your family. So
mhm.
thank you
Yeah.
again for putting on that second hat.
Hey, you too. Thank you.
Yeah. So, and then we fast forward to now, and you're a neurologist, you're working with families, you're educating families, you're taking care of your own family with your child. Talk about an experience where, so we just launched our book called Moms Thrive On. And like through that whole journey, talk about a time where you was just like, I don't know if I could do this. But then you knew what your purpose and your destiny was. And then, or what it is, not was, but is. And so now you find yourself wanting to write the book. So I think that was like three questions in one, but you can
Got you. I got you. I got you. So I mean, there are so many of those moments, right? There are so many, and there will continue to be in every journey like ours, moments of, I don't think I could do this. But, I'll pick one just for fun. I'd say a 3-year moment, not a moment, but a 3-year moment was when I went back to school. I, I'm a neurologist. I see patients in hospitals, and I didn't stop doing that. And law school at places like Stanford Law School, that's a full-time proposition. That's not a part-time, that's not after school. That's not a, so and parenting, as you know, is a full-time proposition. And being a wife is a full-time, right? So talk about hats. And so I found myself waking up at ungodly hours and rounding in the hospital. And then I live in Los Angeles, so it takes forever to get anywhere. So ultimately, I decided, hey, might as well get on a plane. And so I was taking an airplane to school, um, and figuring it out and making it all work. And again, putting one foot in front of the other every day after the next. But that period was rough for sure.
and I know
And I
you had
forgot the other part of the question.
I know. So it was saying how that journey prepared you to write the book. I,
Yeah, I mean,
real quick. I'm gonna jump in
yeah.
real quick because you
So
said like you were taking a plane and then like managing the family and then going to school and being a neurologist and you had to have like a village to help you do that. And so I always
mhm.
shout out the village when we're talking about our families. So please share like who supported you at that time, how they supported you, and then we'll talk about the book.
Yeah, my parents and my partner and my son and my daughter, they all supported me. We are a little tiny village. And so, my partner had to adjust sometimes to make room for my big ambitions. Same for my children. Same for Stanford Law School. They had to adjust because sometimes I wasn't coming. Right? Like I have multiple demands on me, including, my daughter's health is often unpredictable and she's a priority. I remember it was September 13th and I had to be in Palo Alto. I'm in LA. I had to be in Palo Alto the following day. On September 13th, we were in the hospital with my daughter. And so I was on the email. It's like, hey, not coming. This is what. So I mean, the village is real. But sometimes the village is who you make it, including institutions, right? So let's not, underestimate our ability to leverage everything in our midst, if you will.
Yeah, and I think that's why I always shout out the village because even though, we look like we got it all going on, the village is definitely behind us, holding us up,
Hmm. Yeah.
supporting us while we do, what God has called us to do. So, yes, thank you. Thank you to the village.
Hmm.
And then, so the second part of the, what might be third part of the question was what led that to you wanting to write the book and become an author?
So the book, I mean, fast forward, 9 years, but the book came, the books. It's it's not a one and done. I love writing. I've been writing since I was a little child because the unstable, volatile environment. again, inspiration. I'm a creative human, and I've been writing poetry. It started as poetry, and then it became prose. But the book came from having the same conversation over and over with parent after parent after parent after parent. And then you get to a point where you're like, hey, we got to be more efficient with this. So that really was the impetus for the book. It's just, we got to more efficiently communicate this information to folks. And so we started with something digestible, which is the Miswired Child. And then we're moving on from there. The next title is actually called Now What, right? Now you understand. Now what? So it's gonna be a great series, and I'm excited to bring it to the world. She thought I called her Siri.
Yeah. So what made you want to title the book The Unwired Child?
The
Because
Miswired Child. See, anyone who's written a book knows that you go through so many titles. Okay. And so I'll just start by saying that. And my literary agent at the time, which is, I have a different literary agent now. My literary agent at the time, we were getting ready to submit the book to editors at publishing houses, and we were going back and forth on title. And she's like, nope, I don't like that one. Nope, doesn't do it for me. Nope. So there was a whole lot of nopes. And then eventually I said, how about the Miswired Child? And she's like, I love it. And it stuck in that moment.
yeah, it's catchy and it's gonna make people like, let me go run and get this book. Because
I hope
as
so.
a
I hope so.
parent, you're like, what are you thinking when you look at it? So just being able to, I guess, get to their level and to know like what they're experiencing. It's a, I can't, is it Baby Geniuses? It's a movie that my dad had me watch. I think I was a teenager. And in the movie, like the kid, like they're babies, but at a certain point in their life, like their brain changes, and then so they don't do the goo goo gaga and the ba ba ba. They start talking, hi, bye, and it's like their brain adjusts to like being adults.
Yeah.
And so that movie always stuck with me, like when I'm like working with the baby in early intervention, or work, or even my own children. Like when they started talking, I was like, so now you're transitioning over to this.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
were you saying when you were younger? But I love that title, and I
Thank
wish
you.
you much success, and I can't wait to hear the rest of the series, because Now What is just another title in itself.
Right? Right?
Yes, I love the titles.
Thank
So
you.
looking at your journey from 4 years old until now, what is one thing that you want to tell the audience about your experience, about how different things that transpired in your life, that you took the mantle and you said, I'll carry it, and now I'll be the one to run to become a neurologist. You took the mantle again and said, I'll be the one to advocate for families. And then you took the mantle also when your daughter was born, because that in itself, like you said, you're a neurologist, so you knew some things that were happening before, but to experience it as a parent is different.
Mm.
So like look at like just taking all those different parts of your life, and then now saying, I want to put it in words so that someone else can read it, understand it, and be able to move forward. And I want to say thrive, because that's our we have our community, Moms Thrive On. So just share with the audience, however you want to, of how they can move forward on their journey, and how you would. I'm gonna stop adding stuff to the question. 'Cause I'm like, I'm about to go real deep with the question, but I'll let you answer the first.
Cool. And then we can go deeper. I will say this book, it's called The Miswired Child, but the subtitle is How Modern Childhood Harms the Brain. And so this is the beginning. The beginning is understanding what the heck we're up against, what the heck we're dealing with, right? So I've found that there's a complete ignorance with regard to the big picture. And we're all out here trying to do our best. And the reality is, once we understand the big picture, we are better equipped to do our best. Okay. And so that's why I started there. It's macro. What are these different inputs doing to our children's brains? Like, 'cause we didn't just end up here. We didn't just end up at a place in time wherein, the autism incidence is rising and rising and rising decade after decade after decade. We didn't just end up here. There's a reason, right? And I think once we understand the reason, then we're in a better position to advocate. Also in this book is acknowledging all the parents, the ones I've encountered and the ones I haven't. I've heard the story at this point thousands of times, wherein we noticed something, we brought that noticing to the attention of the various systems in which we find ourselves. And for whatever reason, we weren't acknowledged or taken seriously or dot dot dot, whatever we want to call it. We have that unifying experience as parents of kiddos who are developmentally different. And so I wanted to offer an acknowledgement to those parents because too many of them haven't gotten it. And I was one of them. Right, as I was saying, when my little one was 8 months old, I said, "Hey, she's not crawling symmetrically." Everyone's looking at me like, "You overzealous neurologist. What do you mean? She's fine." Right? Fast forward, 10 more months. I'm like, hey, she doesn't have enough words. And again, you overzealous neurologist, everybody develops at their own pace. Right? And so just acknowledging the biology of that noticing because it's biological. There's a reason why parents are the best situated to notice those subtle changes. There's a reason why those subtle changes look the same, child to child, because there's a biological underpinning. And again, we're better positioned to advocate once we understand that bigger picture. What are we up against? What are these systems doing? What are the inputs doing? And what is that biology that's underpinning these changes that we're noticing? That's the book. That's the book. You should read it.
Well, I'm definitely going to get it. As an educator, my brain is like going a mile a minute because I mean, it's one thing to be the parent, but then when the children arrive at school, we have 25 to 30 kids depending on what school system you're
Mhm.
in. And then like all those little brains is in the classroom and like we're trying to figure out like how can I teach this lesson if we have different kids on different levels, academic levels. Then we have some I'm actually in the special services department, so you have some that may have emotional disturbance. You have some that may be autistic. And we're like, it's an inclusive environment, so we're trying to serve all those kids. And so, not only is your book for the parents, but for the educators as well. Because I'm sitting here
Absolutely.
like, I know I got like 20 of us that need to purchase that book.
Absolutely. And clinicians as well.
Yes.
This book's in 6 parts. Part three is called Big Medicine.
Mm.
And that's about the medical system that we all have encountered at this point and why it exists in the ways that it does and what impact that has on our kids' brains, right? And so clinicians too. I mean, we've all got something to learn. And I've been on this journey as a clinician, as a parent, as an advocate, and so I just I picked up some nuggets along the way. And so this is just my offering.
Yes, so excited for you.
Thank
Um,
you.
and I can't wait to get the whole series. I'm already hyped. And he said it's 6 parts, so I'm ready to get the
Yeah.
when does the second one come out? I'm gonna get the first one. When does the second one
The second one comes out next spring, so 2027. Yeah,
come? All right, I'll be ready, but I'm gonna purchase that one
yeah.
definitely. So please let our audience know one how they can contact you, two, how they can purchase the book, and then leave a final thought for them. Like whatever your final thought is. It could be a quote, it could be a scripture, it could just be, a message to the audience on how to continue to thrive. However you want to, share with the audience as your quote. Mm. And thank you for coming on the advocate for me. podcast. You're our second guest since we returned from a break. I took a little long break. I lost my mom in January,
Oh,
and I lost my younger
sorry.
brother on my dad's side. My younger brother.
Condolences.
Thank
Condolences.
you, all in the same month. So I kind of took a step back from, I needed to get myself together. And
Mhm.
so we did the first episode with our Moms Thrive On authors for their anthology book. And then so you're technically the first guest besides them. But the, first individual guest, I'll put it that way, because it
Mhm.
was like five of us on that one. But I thank you for still, looking forward to being on our podcast and for sharing your story and your message, and not only to us, but to the world. So thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And where you can find me, mostly on Instagram at this stage and wherever you buy books. Barnes and Noble is a good one. Amazon's a popular one. And then you can go to themiswiredchild.com. There's more information about the book on there as well as an opportunity to purchase it. And my website is drkimberlyidoko.com. So that is just how folks access me when they're not on Instagram. I'm also allegedly on TikTok, but mostly on Instagram.
Awesome. And then what's one final thing you want to share with the audience?
And so what I always share is a quote from this book. And that quote is biology has rules. And once you understand them, the path forward comes into view. And so that's what I always tell folks. Biology has rules. This stuff isn't just happen. It's just a well-designed system responding to its inputs. Right? Biology has rules. So that's what I want to leave everyone with.
Wow, biology has rules. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's powerful.
Thank
You
you.
should put that on a t-shirt. I'm like, wow. Yeah, that's powerful. That's powerful right there.
Thank you.
So thank you again to our audience. As always, we thank you for listening to the Advocate for Me podcast. If anything was said today that resonated with your spirit, please reach out to Doc. I'm sorry, I done just made it short. Like, reach out to Doc. um, like we've been friends forever, but I feel like we have.
Right.
So definitely purchase the whole series when it come out. But I know it's going to be a testament for families, teachers, educators, clinicians. They'll definitely get a different experience once they read the book. And continued success for you,
Thank
um,
you.
all your many hats, and to your family. And until we meet again, peace and blessings to our audience. Keep pushing, keep advocating, and keep thriving.
Thank you.
You're welcome.